The beer you drink is awful, but it doesn't have to be. There are countless local breweries all over the country that make great beer. Amazing beer, also known as craft beer. Beer you can savor rather than chug. Each week, we'll take you to a brewery, brew pub, or beer festival, give you a tour, and then drink the beer. All of it, for the betterment of mankind. The beer you drink can be great. So put down that red party cup and start drinking beer like an adult. This is Crafty.
Hello and welcome to a very rainy episode of Crafty, the web series about great local beer. Today we're at Mother Earth Brew Co. in Vista, California.
As always, we've brought our growler with us. We're gonna go ahead and go inside and then maybe try some of the beer.
With us today is Cameron, what's your last name?
Kanakchavani.
Cameron Kanakchavani, head brewer and co-owner of...
Not head brewer, just brewer.
Brewer and co-owner of this fine establishment.
Hey, as much as I like watching you guys suffer, you wanna come in here and dry off, get some beers?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, guys, so this is the brewery. Dan and Johnny are brewing right now, actually. Before we start, let me grab you guys a beer because I don't want you to be empty-handed. I'm gonna have you guys start off with the oatmeal stout.
Some breakfast, okay.
This is with English yeast.
Thank you,
There you go.
sir.
So anyways, what we're doing here, it's a family business. We started in 2008. We opened our place in 2010. Our goal is to brew all classic styles. You know, we didn't set out to just brew crazy stuff. It's all about making really sessionable, drinkable beers. Just to put things in perspective for San Diego, every other beer we brew is an IPA. That's the Brew Dog. Cody, you want to be in the video?
Cameron, there's an awful lot of craft brewing companies in San Diego. Do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing for a new guy starting out?
It's good for the consumer. It's bad for people looking to start a brewery because it's starting to get crowded. So does that mean we've reached saturation yet? I don't think so, because there's so many people drinking beer. I mean, everyone and their mom is looking for craft beer right now. It's good for some people, bad for others, but it's awesome for us because we're friends, you know, with a lot of those guys. And for example, Johnny that works for us, he used to work for Pizza Port. He was the assistant brewer and bar manager at Pizza Port Solana Beach. When he came over here, it was a natural fit, and he still knows all these guys, and we do events together, and we do collaboration beers and stuff. I think he's cleaning out the mash tun right now. Hey, Johnny.
So Johnny, what can you tell us about your old relationship with Pizza Port and the role that that plays with your current employer?
Pizza Port was a means to allow me to meet Dan and Cameron. We actually got together and did a collaboration beer. I was able to bring Mother Earth beer on draft at Solana Beach and help them out initially when they were first starting up the brewery over here. So that allowed us to build up a relationship, and like Cameron said earlier, you know, it's a big family, really. We all get along, you know, we're all doing the same thing, we all have the same goals in mind to create good beer.
Do you ever get worried about getting stuck in here?
Getting stuck, I'm not too worried. I got two means to get out, but I like being in here.
Or it could be like in that Rick Moranis movie, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
You just drink all the beer. Another weird movie reference. So what's Dan up to right now?
He's taking the spent grain that was just in here and probably dumping it out back right now.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
Thanks, guys.
How's it going, Dan?
How's it going, Aaron? These are the spent grains. We have three options when we brew, and option one is that we give it to some local farmers and they feed their animals with it. Option two is we make dog biscuits out of it, and when we can't do either of the first two options, we put it in option three, which is the dumpster.
What is the name of the dog biscuits?
My sister-in-law, Eloise, who is in charge of that business. She takes the spent grains on a weekly basis. She's partnered with another lady who gets spent grains from Eagle Rock Brewing up in LA, and they make the biscuits together. And I think currently they actually provide them to Rogue Brewing up in the Pacific Northwest and to a lot of local areas around town. I'm gonna take this in and wash it off and start cleaning up.
Please, absolutely. It's too hot, I can't do it. It tastes like you'd think it would. Like frass.
It tastes like, kind of like cardboard. I could taste that there was something good tasting in there, but no more.
Okay, let's go check out the brew supply store.
Yeah, definitely. Hey Cameron, how's it going?
What's up, man?
You mind showing us the rest of the place?
No, not at all. Let's grab our beers and I'll show you. So yeah, you've been hanging out in the brewery, but we also have a homebrew retail store, as you know, that's a pretty significant part of our business. These are mostly base malts and flaked stuff, and You know, customers just come in and they just weigh out what they need. We've got over 60 types of grains. Most of them are malted. We've got like 30 to 40 types of yeast, so people can come in and really just play jazz with the types of beer they want to brew. Let's head into the supply room. So this is where basically everything but the ingredients are sold. So you need thermometers, hydrometers, recipe kits, all that kind of stuff.
So how easy is it to actually start home brewing?
I always tell people it's really easy to make beer. It's really hard to make good beer. You got to figure the Egyptians would just throw buckets of honey out on their front doorstep, and once it met wild yeast, it would ferment. And so I guess if you applied that same principle to your beer, it would taste like ass, but it would get you drunk. So it depends on how much effort you want to put into it.
What advice do you have for somebody who's just starting out home brewing?
Brewing is not like cooking. You can't just throw your kitchen pantry into your beer. It's not going to taste good. It's more like baking. There's specific instructions you need to follow, measurements, timing, temperature. And so as long as you do what you're supposed to, you're going to have really drinkable beer.
How much would you say it costs per batch to brew home beer?
On average, I'd say about $50. To get started, you're looking at about, like I said, bare necessities, you're looking at $120.
This sounds like a really great resource for people who want to get into the home brewing art and craft. But what if I lived in someplace awful, like, say, North Carolina?
There's a lot of great places around here, like you said, but if you're in a remote area or somewhere with not a lot of selection or homebrew stores, you can always Google it. You can go to our website. We provide a full list of links. Tasty Brew has a lot of recipes. Homebrew Talk is a great wiki resource.
So could you tell us more about the new location that you just opened up in Vista?
We're opening a place in downtown Vista on Main Street, and it's going to have a really cool vibe. This will become a production facility with a limited tasting room. We'll open another tap room down there as well, so you'll be able to still come over there, get your homebrew supplies, grab a beer.
Cameron, you guys have a lot of emphasis on home brewing and helping people to learn the art and craft of beer. Are you worried that one day someone will rise up, like, say, Tommy Gunn from Rocky IV, and challenge you for your title as Supreme Brewer?
Coming from a homebrew background, we were always worried that, how long is this going to last? Is someone going to unseat us type thing? But we don't really have those type of thoughts anymore, just because, like I said, there's so many people out there that want to drink beer, and we want people to have the same passion for what we're drinking as we do. That's why, as you saw earlier when we were in the brewery, we had all the details for each one of our beers listed up on the board. If someone wants to clone one of our beers, by all means, we'll show you how to do it.
So what if you got in a fight with the guys from Homebrew Mart? Who would win?
We would definitely win. Mostly because my dad was like a 6th-degree black belt in karate, and I can grapple.
Aaron's got really great ground and pound.
I do.
Well, Cameron, it looks like we're all out. So how about we go try some more beer?
I'm game.
All right.
Welcome, guys. You ready to get started?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, let's start off. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Dan.
First beer we're going to be trying is called Cali Creamin'. So this beer is a cream ale, ferments in about 7 days, and then we dry hop it with Madagascar vanilla beans.
Oh my God, that is delicious. It tastes like cream soda.
Really good initiating type of beer.
Yeah, this is the kind, I know plenty of females who, obviously not in the right mind, say silly things like, oh, I don't like beer, I don't drink beer. This is the kind of thing, some would say a gateway drug.
To stay successful, we have to be able to sell beer to other than just guys. So we have really aggressive beers so we can fit in San Diego County. We also have some really enjoyable beers too for people that just want to get into trying craft beer. All right, number 2 is called LC's Mild. I had the opportunity to be at Blind Lady, and Lee Chase, the proprietor and the original head brewer at Stone, is my mentor. So we brewed it actually in honor of him.
And this is one of your more sessionable beers, a little bit lower in ABV?
Yeah, 3.9 is the lowest ABV beer we do. Being able to brew a beer that's not a lager and using the dark malts really helps you be able to taste something in there.
It definitely is mild. It definitely has a lot of character though to it.
Very beautiful dark amber color and very sessionable, very, very easy drinking. I would drink this with breakfast every day.
All right, well, let's go on to number 3 then. This is a beer that we've brewed a couple times under a different premise. We were able to do a collaboration brew with Pizza Port Solana Beach, and it was our recipe and their grains, and it was called the Beeve. And it was a very popular beer. Eventually, this will end up probably being called Double Decker. So this is an English brown ale.
Yes, it's got some pale crystal Munich chocolate flaked barley malts. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's got all those.
Very, very muted hop taste. You don't need to be afraid of beers that are darker in color.
Not at all.
You need to enjoy them. This would be a good pairing with Bananas Foster. Easily one of the coolest desserts ever made on account of the high alcohol content.
The next 3 beers that we're going to give you are all been dry hopped, and I think the first one is called Pinup Pale Ale. This beer is rather simple recipe, but for us here, it took us a long time to brew a pale ale that we really liked. So the dry hopping in this is really special. It's Citra and Chinook, so it's very unusual smelling.
The aroma that I get off of it is definitely IPA, but like when I'm actually drinking it, it's definitely a pale ale.
The Pinup is more my cup of tea. I really like the strong hoppy aroma and the really bold, bitter character that you get off of that.
This one's Righteously Hopped Red, so I'm just going to abbreviate it for you. And this one is going to be a red IPA. Making a beer with red color is not the easiest thing in the world to do because there's a lot of different styles of malt that you can use to achieve it, but it takes a while for you to get it till you get it just right.
The aftertaste is a bit bitter.
We used a hop that we're not 100% familiar with. We just started using it. It's called Apollo. It's a newer bittering hop. Number 6 is our version of a black IPA. It's called the Crucible. Again, you're going to want to smell this. We wanted a beer that was not a stout, but had some stout characteristics, but softer dark malts. And then we used a lot of typical IPA malts. And then it was all about the hopping schedule too. Make it really bitter and then make it smell really nice.
Yeah, it's got that really interesting characteristic where you have both the very hoppy aroma and kind of a savory caramelized chocolate kind of taste on the back end. And that's what I really like.
Yeah, and I think the key is to get a little mix of all of that together to really create a good beer.
I think you definitely did that in this one. This black IPA is really good.
God damn, that's good.
You know that I really like the more darker stouts and porters.
Aaron,
Yeah?
I don't respect you as a person, but I respect your taste in beer. And that's why I feel like this beer can really bridge the gap between us. It's got those dark caramel chocolatey notes that really denote your style of effeminate beer tasting. Whereas I enjoy the more bitter side.
All right, guys, let's move on to the special beers.
Please, let's do.
We'll start out light with the IRA, or the Irish Red Ale. Now, for this to be made to category or class, we'd have to use an Irish ale yeast. We use an English ale yeast with this.
So would there be any difference between using the English style or the Irish style yeast?
The English style is going to be a little bit more floral and fruity, and then the Irish style would be more malty, more of a malt base, more towards what a Scottish ale would taste like. So let's go to the finisher, and this will be the Roundabout Chocolate Oatmeal Stout.
What causes the head on these stouts to be so much more interesting?
Most stouts are brewed with rolled or flaked oats, and that causes a creaminess that helps with the mouthfeel and also helps with head retention.
That's what she said.
So Dan, this definitely has a nice chocolate taste to it. Do you use chocolate malt?
When we were working with Lee as a consultant, Lee Chase, he told us that if you really want to get chocolate flavor in a beer, to use chocolate wheat. Chocolate malt, although it says chocolate, gives more of a coffee or a bitter taste, more of an astringent taste. And the chocolate wheat gives a really nice chocolate taste.
Well, gosh, Aaron, I haven't been faced with a board this difficult since last time I played Bobby Fischer at Checkers. I'm gonna have to say my honorable mention goes to the Cali Creamin'.
It's a tough decision, but I think I'm gonna go with the LCs.
As far as the winner of the day, the pony that ran the race the fastest, I'm gonna have to say the Crucible, the black IPA. It's my favorite from Mother Earth.
My beer of choice from Mother Earth is going to be the Roundabout Chocolate Oatmeal Stout.
Let's get a growlin', get the f out of here.
Done. Dan, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you guys for coming. Had a great time.
Thank you so much.
Glad you enjoyed the beers.
Yeah, we'll definitely be back.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
That's it for this episode of Crafty. Oh, it's not raining anymore. For more information about Mother Earth Brew Co., please visit their website. And as always, remember, drink responsibly. And by that I mean, just because it says platinum on the label doesn't mean it's a good beer.